Ghana were knocked out by Tunisia in the round of 16.
Yeah.
Like I rightly mentioned before, this hasn't happened since 2008. In the lead up to this AFCON, Coach Kwesi Appiah mentioned that this was the best camp he's had. This was the best preparation he's had towards a competition. It doesn't seem like it's all reflected on the pitch when it's mattered the most. Now, the team have been knocked out. The big question that everybody seems to be asking is, what happens to James Kwesi Appiah? He has about 5-6 months left on his contract. What do we do with him? Let me start with you, Coach Nimley.
Wow. What a question, Benjamin. The question is, what do we do with him? To be honest with you, we could do two things with him. We could decide to sack him now, and we could decide to get him to go through the rest of his contract, and as at when the contract is due, then we will not renew the contract and then bring in whoever we want to bring in as a country. I believe that of the two things that we could do with him, I will go for the second one, simply because we've been sacking coaches back and forth, and that does not seem to solve our problem. I'm imagining a situation where he is sacked today and we are to pay him $35,000 times 6 for no work done. I will not buy into that. I also believe that for the fact that the qualifiers start somewhere in September, we should allow him to start the qualifiers. Depending on how it goes, then we could take a decision. The fact is, we were very hopeful that we're going to win this tournament, but on the face of what we saw, the quality on parade, maybe we fell short, not within the technical body. I'm not saying they didn't do certain things wrong, but even within the quality of players we have as a country, maybe we are just not up there yet to compete with the Senegal, with the Nigeria and things. You remember that prior to this tournament, most of us, including myself, I have preached that I've never been enthused by the way we've gone about our transition. And I think that some of it can be put to the doorstep of the technical team and some to the doorstep of the people of this country, for which I am included. I have said that if I had my way, I wouldn't take Andre to the tournament.
Yeah.
If I had my way, I wouldn't take Asamajan to the tournament. I said all these things. And I remember the very first time I put some of these things out there, people came for me as if I had committed a crime. And I said, look, football is such that if you are indeed a true footballing nation, I don't see why you still be depending on some group of players or some crop of players, one after 16, 17 years, the other after 11 years, some after 9 years, some after 10 years. Goodness me, who would do that? Give me one perfect example of a true footballing nation in this modern time. Who would do that? No, you will not find it anywhere. So for the fact that we find it very difficult as a country to look beyond Asamoah Gyan, to look beyond Andre Morgan Ayew, to look beyond players like John Boy, I had problems with that. So I spelled all these things out there and I said, look, because of some of these things, it will be very difficult. But once it is out there, very typical of the Ghanaian, when it is there and we are there, we want to put these things down or put them aside and support the team. But reality is such that if you cheat it, it will come hitting at your face. And that is exactly what happens. So for me, back to the question you asked, what should we do with him? I don't think we should sack Kwesi and pay him $35,000 times 6 for no work done. I would not support that. He's our own. I think he's gotten to the stage where, look, you've come, it didn't work out. We believe that as a country, this should be the way forward. We should be looking at proper transition to 2021 and 2022. 2021 in Cameroon, the next AFCON, and that team should be good enough to go and represent Ghana in the next World Cup in Qatar. Therefore, if that is the way forward, we should be telling Kwesi, there should be no Asamoah Gyan in our team. There should be no Andre in our team. There should be no John Boy in our team. There should be no Jonathan Mensah in our team. We should go and look back at the young ones who are playing regular football. The question is, why is it that players like Bernard Mensah, who had a wonderful season in Portugal, he did not turn down the invitation. I don't want to put it. I believe that he felt that if he were to accept it, he will not be given a chance to show. Players like Alfred Duncan, who said, although injured, he could have gone to play through the injury for his nation. But he looked at the situation and said, look, it is better these guys go, because fact still remains that some of our players who played regular football, anytime they were invited by this current technical team, like Alfred Duncan, like Bernard Mensah, some of them hardly got an invitation. They come and they are given 4 minutes, 6 minutes maximum to make it. And people who sat on the bench of their team week in, week out, they rather came and they got selected. 90 minutes, 86 minutes, 83 minutes. People like Thomas Ajipon, injury prone. He did not play too much football. He found himself at the tournament. So this is the time where we could tell Kwesi that, look, none of that. We gave it a free hand.
Who could? I mean, he's the man in charge. Does he take orders from anybody?
He's not in charge as we speak, because his job is on the line. It's two things. What I'm saying is, don't pay him $35,000 times 6 with no work done. No, I will not support that. He's Ghanaian. Why should he be given that amount of money for no work done? Well, we could use him and then help him correct certain things that he's done wrong, and then get the team to move on. If by the end of the 31st day of December and his contract, we believe that he's not the man for the job, then we kindly usher him out of the job and then bring in whoever. I'm in support that we should bring in another local man. I don't support a foreign man. No, I don't want us to even think about that. That is a non-starter. So with all these things being looked at, I think we can get him to stay till December. If we want him to stay, get him to accept the fact that, look, going forward, we are thinking Cameroon 2021. We are thinking Qatar 2022. How old will some of these players be by then? So clearly, now, get them out of the team and let's do proper transition and let's move on with it.
Well, let's get to Kwesi Appiah's thoughts there following that exit by the Black Stars at the round of 16 stage. He said a few thoughts. He says that, I feel sad. We had huge hopes. We played well, but penalties weren't on our side. This is football, and we have to accept what happened. I have to support my players to come back stronger. Jesse, you've been listening to Coach's submissions. At a point, he says that we could not lay all the blames in some of the games that we struggled in on the doorsteps of Kwesi Appiah. The players have to take their fair share. He also established that in his own way, we shouldn't sack Kwesi Appiah now because it would not make sense to us as a footballing nation. And if we should look to bring in another Ghanaian to take over the job going forward. What do you make of the situation yourself and also to these submissions?
All the things Coach have said, they point to one direction. They point to the coach himself. That's Kwesi Appiah. If it's about transition, I don't do transition. I'm not in charge of the team. So I don't see where Ghanaians come in.
No, but the coach don't do transition.
I'm coming.
It is the FA.
I'm coming.
FA does transition.
No,
I'm telling you, coaches don't do transition.
No, I'm coming. There are examples to back.
No, but it's the plan.
It's the establish your point.
So I'll establish the point.
Okay, go ahead.
Was it Kwesi Appiah who told Milovan Marivac to graduate the bulk of the 2019 to the national team? It wasn't.
You see?
It was Milovan managing his transition.
No,
that
was not what it was.
No,
it was not that. Let me tell you, at the time, Suleiman Muntari was injured, he would have gone.
No,
Michael Essien was injured, he would have gone.
No.
Stephen Appiah was injured, he would have gone. Are you telling me we would have dropped those boys?
No. Muntari was dropped. Muntari was not injured, he was dropped. I was very on top of that issue in 2010.
What about Michael Essien? He went to the tournament injured.
Yes, he went to the tournament
and
got injured. Stephen Appiah was not taken because he was clubless at the time.
But he was taken to the World Cup.
No.
Milovan took him to the World Cup.
He was not taken.
Milovan took him to the World Cup. I'm coming, I'll allow you. Milovan took him to the World Cup.
Was the World Cup?
He had no club identity. He was still clubless.
The World Cup. No, he had found a club. He had found a club.
Which club was that?
Oh, he got a club.
Which club was that?
I'm saying that he got a club. I'm very confident about what I'm saying.
No. Stephen Appiah remained clubless throughout the World Cup.
prior to the World Cup, he had a club.
Which club was that?
No, I don't have it off the cuff. I'm saying that prior to the World Cup, I am happy
till
and I can state. Listen,
Yep.
Randy Abbey granted an interview then and said he was happy for Steven because he had gotten a club.
Which club was there?
I'm saying that on top of my head, it's not. On
But
top of my head, I don't have it.
either which way, he wasn't playing actively before he made his club.
No. Listen, I'm saying that during that period,
went back to Brescia to train with them to test his injured knee.
During that period, I say I was really on top of those issues. At the point, some of us were making the point that Steven, if he does not find a club, we cannot take him to the World Cup on sentimental reasons. Those were the issues we were raising then. So when Steven found a club, I remember Mr. Randy Abbey granting an interview and saying he was happy and that now that he's found a club, he will be able to go to the World Cup. That's a fact. So let's not go there. Maintaining the same thing. I'm saying that Kwesi Appiah, didn't he start something like a transition when we went to play Japan and Iceland? Were we all not happy about that team?
So therefore,
I'm coming.
So therefore, you see where I'm coming from.
I'm coming.
If it is the FA policy, he wouldn't have gone back.
I'm coming.
Coaches don't do transition.
Let's see this point.
But in Milovan's case, there was no policy. Listen,
and I'm saying that is wrong.
In Milovan's case, there was no policy. He did it in what do you call it? In 2001, 2002, when we took the decision that Steven C.K. Akono, Ohini Kennedy,
that was an FA policy by Ben Kofi, a 5-year development plan which ensured that transition would take place.
Let's take the facts. I am saying that it was whose plan?
It's Uncle Ben Kofi who was in then to the FA.
No, but was it? You see,
no, it was the FA.
But see, let's establish this. Ben Kofi could have a plan to want to.
Absolutely,
but the coach will come in and want to maintain players,
and
the FA cannot strong arm him.
No. You see,
are you saying that? Are you saying I'm coming? Are you saying that? Are you saying that Mr. Ben Kofi imposed those players on Osam?
Who was Ben Kofi then to the Ghana Football Association?
I am saying,
he was virtually the FA. He formed the FA.
That's not true. That's not true.
Who was Ben Kofi then?
But we cannot establish that players.
But he had an executive that he was working with.
No, but doesn't say that. He brought the policy to the Ghana Football Association. No, but you're saying things that are not factual.
No. What are things that are not factual?
Like the Ben Kofi issue.
I'm saying
Ben Kofi brought the issue to the Ghana Football Association that look, this is a plan I think we should follow. And the FA took it upon themselves and took on the plan and therefore allowed them the transition to take place.
Hold your fire there for a second. And coach, you should allow Jesse to make his point because you've had a chance to make your point.
That's fine.
Let's get to some numbers from Kwesi Appiah's career as a coach, and then Jesse will make his point on what Kwesi Appiah's future should be with the national team. So in 28 matches played, he's won 15, drawn 5, lost 8. Players used 49. Goals scored per game 2.2 and 1.6 conceded per game. Jesse.
Listen, fact is that transitions, and in this case, you can even talk about the fact that we are not in normal times, right?
Yep.
Since the normalization committee took over, were we expecting them to manage transition? Is that what we were expecting them to do? I'm saying that if a coach knows what is worth for him, if a coach knows if a coach has a plan, there is nothing. It has nothing to do with the FA. Do you understand? Because like I cited the Milovan case. Today we have benefited from it, have we not? The day is still playing for the national team.
Yep.
So haven't we benefited? Jonathan Mensah is still playing for the national team. Haven't we benefited? So I'm saying that if you are a coach and you have the courage to make bold decisions, you make them and you get the support of your FA. This Kwesi Appiah has had the most. He's one of the local coaches, the only local coach I can state, who has gotten immense support from the FA. There's no doubt about it. So there's nothing like if he wanted to take those decisions, he would have been prevented from taking those decisions. Let's make that point.
Nobody has said that.
Going on. This business about sending, and that's why I think that this coach should be sacked. This business about sending injured players to tournaments. It didn't start today. It didn't start today. Kwesi Appiah was assistant to Claude Leroy in 2008. We sent Shira Iyasu. It didn't benefit us. In 2012, We sent a bunch of injured players, including Asamoah Gyan, who was half fit for that tournament. And after that Zambian loss, he granted an interview and told BBC that he was half fit. He was not ready for the tournament. Okay, John Mensah, Jonathan Anthony Annan. We sent all these players. Kwesi Appiah was deputy to Stevano. The name is not Stevanovic. Now, in 2013, Kwesi Appiah himself was in charge. He sent Richmond Boachi-Yadom. It cost us, right? Now he comes back and he sends Thomas Ejapong, who was carrying
is sort of known as his boy within the Black Star set.
Whatever it is, me, I don't want to go there. The point is this: what lesson did he learn? What lesson did he learn? He didn't learn anything. Now, how did that decision, and somebody will say, how did that decision affect us? That particular, by sending a player who was injury prone or carrying an injury, it literally shot you by one.
Yep. Forces you into a change you don't want to make.
Absolutely.
Like in the first game when we saw he pulled up injured and he had to be replaced.
So, and since then he never played in the game. So why was he taken? Who of course is the coach who sent him. Is that not it? Now, go to the game itself. And how the game was managed. Did Kwesi Appiah have a plan for this penalty? Taking penalties. We were told that, when they were in Dubai, every time they were practicing and all those things. Give you a simple example. The Tunisians were changing their goalkeeper, was it not?
Yep.
How many times are we going to see Felix Annan catch penalties in this country? Kwesi Appiah doesn't know that.
But it's an issue of hindsight.
No, it's not about hindsight.
If Richard Ofori had saved a few penalties, we wouldn't be having
this conversation. It's not about hindsight at all. It's not about hindsight. This is not like... You
are establishing that Felix Annan is automatically a better penalty saver than Richard Ofori.
Coach handled Atisigi. He can talk about his ability to save penalties. But I have seen Felix Annan countless number of times save penalties. He did it in Kara, in Congo, and Kotoko players decided to waste penalties. In this Kotoko's CAF Confederations Cup, there was the team from Zambia. They got a penalty in Kumasi, and he saved it. So in terms of his ability to save penalties, we all know. How did we respond? Now, look, the reason why I said we didn't plan for this penalty was this. Asamoah Gyan, he has told the whole country that he has made a promise to his mother that he won't take penalties again. He did it to us in 2015. The time that the coach brought him in, obviously, we were going to go to extra time. Right? And the coach knew the possibility of going to extra time and the possibility of going to take penalties. If he had a plan, question is, why did he bring in Asamoah Gyan? So, there are certain decisions that, for me, tells me that, look, Kwesi hasn't learned. Because again, he is one of the luckiest Ghanaian coaches to have worked with different foreign coaches, right? As assistant, he has come in to take over himself. There were lessons for him to learn in 2014, whatever happened and all those things. And so you will expect that he will take it a notch better. And I don't think that for me, he has displayed those things. But there's another side of me that thinks about the fact that why should the normalization committee select a coach for us?
So the penalty shots there in focus. So Caleb Ekuban missing there, apologizing and whatnot.
Why?
It cost us.
Why should the normalization committee be the ones who select a coach for us? You understand?
Question.
So then that is where the other side of me say, okay, we have the qualifiers in September. Why don't you let him stay on, play the qualifiers? Hopefully the normalization committee, I don't know, I doubt if they'll be able to finish their work in September.
They better
I doubt
they
if
better
they can.
Get out. They better finish and leave.
You and I know they won't finish.
They will finish and leave.
They won't finish.
They will finish and leave.
They will
finish.
No, you and I know that they will finish.
You don't know what I know. I'm aware they are going out.
Whatever it is, I think that the bulk of work that they have to do, I don't think that they can do it within this space of time, right? So I think there is the possibility that there might be another extension. Yes, there is the possibility that there might be another extension. Already, we have heard stories making rounds that he wants another extension for 6 months to face off after the election and all those things. There are allegations coming like that. But I'm saying that the normalization committee is not the one to appoint a coach for us. So then let the gentleman stay on. And by which time, by December, hopefully, the normalization committee would have gone, or they would have still been there, whatever it is. But I don't think that they are the ones cut out to select a coach for us.
Hold your thoughts. For me, hold your thoughts there. Let's take a quick break here on the AFCON Daily. I'll come back to you there. A lot is going on in studio. The discussion has been absolutely feisty here on the AFCON Daily. I love it. I love every bit of it. We'll take a quick break here on the AFCON Daily. When we come back, we'll round out the conversation on the Black Stars, the future of Kwesi Appiah and whatnot. And then we'll begin the build-up to that game between Senegal and Benin. Stay with us.